Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for a Talk Magic. And today I am so excited. I have somebody on the channel I've been trying to get on here for a while, but his incredibly busy performing schedule meant that I've had to wait until now, basically. But I'm his biggest fan. Now, this young man here has achieved more by the age of 13 than most professional magicians do in their entire career. He's been on TV numerous times. He's an actor. He's a magician, finalist in BGT, semi-finalist in Ireland's Got Talent. He's been on TV shows literally all over the world, and his personality and his performing character is just infectious. I'm a huge fan. I am, of course, talking about the little legend himself, Mr. Aidan McCann. How you doing, Aidan? You all right, mate?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm all the better for seeing you. All the better for seeing you. Now, you're busy, Aidan. Like, you were just telling me before the camera started rolling, you're on set every day at the moment on a film or something, and then you're also filming a TV show for a magic thing as well with a bunch of other. So I mean, how you have time to pull all this off at the age of 13, I have no clue. Yeah, wow, it's just incredible. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk to you about everything because what I said earlier is true. You've achieved more at the age of 13 than most people have in their entire career. And I want to kind of go through everything that you've done because you've done an awful lot, if that's okay with you. I'd like to talk about
that's great. Yeah.
Maybe get some advice off you as well. So let's start off at the very beginning, because just to give people a little bit of a frame of reference, you come from a performing arts background. A lot of your family are actors and drama teachers and so on and so forth. So you come from a performing arts family, but it feels like you've been in magic forever. Like, but obviously you can't have been because you've only just turned 13. I know this because, you know, for 2 weeks prior to your 13th birthday, there were videos going up on Instagram with lots of magic tricks, which is really cool. But so I suppose the first question is, what's your origin story? Tell me a bit about your kind of life growing up, you know, in a performing arts sort of family, and how you actually decided that you wanted to get into magic.
Yeah. Also, if I do itch my nose, I have a bit of hay fever this morning because there's lots of pollen. So sorry if I do some of that. But
Oh, good.
So my parents run a drama school, and they don't do it anymore because of COVID, I think, but they used to put on these like kind of fun fair type things where people would get on stage and sing a song. And at the fun fair there would be a magician place, and I remember it so much. So the magician, he got someone to choose a card, and then he had like kind of a handkerchief, and it was kind of what I did on the Ellen show. So he'd open it and it would be the wrong card, and then he'd open it the other way and it would be the right card. And I was so mind blown. Obviously now it's simple, but I remember coming home with my dad, and we tried all day to find out how it was done. We never did. And I always loved magic because at my birthday parties there were these things called like silly billies, where they would be just funny magicians come and kind of like be kind of funny, you know, the trick, and it's like the wand falls down.
Yes, the breakaway one. Yeah,
they do that trick and some other where you like draw a smiley face on the board and like he talks and stuff like that. So I used to love all of that type of magic, and yeah, that's pretty much my origin story.
Okay. So you started watching magic and you found out you liked it. How did that then go from like, oh, I like this magic trick, this is really good, to appearing on TV doing it? Because the first thing that you did from memory was Ireland's Got Talent, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So how old were you when you went on Ireland's Got Talent?
I was 9 when I went onto Ireland's Got Talent, and I think I wanted to go onto that because I'd always watched the Got Talents, especially the magicians on it, on YouTube and stuff like that. And by that time, like if you saw my room now, like it's out of space. I need more space for magic. But I'd literally just have a few decks of cards. I'd have no gimmicks, no props, nothing like that. I'd literally just have a deck of cards. I'd know about 5 tricks off YouTube. And I just went on with a few card tricks for the heat. And then for the semis, I got some new tricks that aren't card tricks, and it's progressed from there.
So how long had you been doing magic when you went on Ireland's Got Talent? So you were 9 when you went on there. When did you kind of start learning magic? How old were you when you
So is this kind of the magic sets or like the kind of proper more card tricks?
Yeah, sort of the stuff that I mean, obviously you had magic sets when you first started, but when you kind of started learning that more seriously.
Probably, see, I don't know if I should count 9 years old, because what I did on the heats for Ireland's Got Talent, I thought, well, because you can probably find the tricks I did in a lot of magic. Well, actually, this is funny. One of the tricks I did on Ireland's Got Talent, the heats, I saw a revealed video on YouTube. Chris Pratt did this trick on the Graham Norton show.
Really?
So I copied his trick. So no, I'd say kind of about 9 years old or 8 years old.
Okay. So and you did really well on Ireland's Got Talent. Obviously, you got through to the semi-finals. A lot of people got to find out who you are. Off the back of that, like the TV appearances started rolling in, right? You did Little Big Shots in America. Yeah. You did Ellen in America. How did that come about? Was that off the back of Ireland's Got Talent, or was that something that you reached out to try and be a part of?
Yeah, so I think I don't know the full story on how I got on that, but I'm pretty sure I heard something about my uncle messaging them, but I also heard that they kind of contacted me. So I think it was kind of like a boatway thing. Yeah. But so I did get on it, and it was pretty easy to get on it, which is very good. I remember I was out playing football with my friends, and we were waiting for a phone call to see if I could go on it. And they said yes, and they were going to fly us out on Monday, and it was a Saturday. So they always fly out really quick. There's no time wasting with them.
Wow. I bet that was super. Were you nervous? I mean, that's a good question. Do you get nervous doing this stuff? Because you never appear nervous. And one thing that a lot of magicians, even adult magicians, really struggle with is nerves. And you've been in some really stressful situations, but you never seem to be nervous. Like, do you get nervous? And if not, how do you stop yourself from being nervous?
Ooh, yeah. So I get this, I don't know if I call this nervous. I get in this thing where like literally 2 minutes before going on stage, I won't talk to anybody. I'll literally just be in my own zone, not talk to anybody. I'm literally running through the tricks in my head, and I won't be talking to anybody. And if someone does talk to me, like my mom, I'll be like, yeah, okay. And I'll just be like totally quiet. And I remember before I went on, Anthem Deck were trying to talk to me, and I was just like, okay. And then I just went on, and I turn it on then. But a lot of people, they ask me how to deal with nerves. I personally don't think you can. I don't think that there's a way to defeat them. I think if you try not to think about them too much, that could help. But I think more or less, you don't actually, for me, I don't get nervous when I'm actually on the stage. I get nervous beforehand, like 2 minutes beforehand. Other than that, I'm fine. So I think you just get them. I think it's just something everybody has, and they just go away after a few minutes.
Okay, that's really good advice. I want to ask you something else before we carry on talking about all the different things that you've done. One thing that I love about you, Aidan, and I mean, I absolutely love, and one of the things that made me fall in love with you as a performer the second that I saw you was your personality on stage. Like, you come across as really cheeky, really sarcastic, which I can just get behind 100% because that's completely me. Having now got to know you outside of being on stage, you're one of the nicest and politest little legends I've ever met. So you're super polite and super nice, and almost like, I'm not going to say shy because you're definitely not shy, but you kind of almost like you're not the center of attention. Like when there's a group of people, you're not the person that's going to be like, hey, look at me.
Let me show you guys a trick.
Yeah, right. But the second you walk on stage, I remember when you were on BGT, within seconds you were like, wow, like throwing barbs at Simon Cowell. And I'm like, man, this kid has chops. So where did that, is that just you? Like, and how come you can turn it on when you go on stage? Like, where did all of that come from?
So I think my mom doing a drama school, that helps, because I've always been used to stage, because in the school every year we practice doing a stage show, and then we end up doing the stage show. So I think I'm familiar with stage, which always helps. So it's not like something that I'm not used to. Obviously doing magic on a stage, that's what I wasn't used to. But yeah, I think I think it's just my personality. I mean, yeah, on stage I definitely turn it on more because I really enjoy being on stage. I find it so funny. Actually, this is a funny story. On Britain's Got Talent, when I went on, I pretended to give Simon Cowell a fist bump, and then I instantly dodged him.
I remember that.
And then at the end, I did it again, but I actually did it that time, and he was like, so that's funny. But for Ireland's Got Talent, I remember there was no script, no nothing. For the heats, I literally had no script, nothing. That was all just on the spot. But then obviously from there on, I started having some funny lines and stuff like that.
Brilliant. That's awesome. So let's briefly talk about Britain's Got Talent, because what made you decide to go on there? Because actually, before we talk about Britain's Got Talent, you did several shows for Ellen, didn't you? It wasn't just a one-off. You did, from memory, you did several. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. I think I did 3.
And was that, did they just get you back because like, oh my gosh, we love Aidan, can you come back on the show again?
Yeah, so basically we'd always kind of every kind of 2 months or so, we kind of just make some videos for the producers, and they'd be like, oh, perfect, we'll fly you out in 2 days. Yeah, there's a great guy that we like going to. You probably know him. The Magic Apple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's great, and we like going to his shop when we're over there to get some tricks. But yes, they kind of so we always got on, and then when COVID hit, they got me on again, but it was on a Zoom call. So that went good. And then they got me my own show on their show, where it was like for Ellen Digital or something like that. It was like you'd have an app on your phone and you could watch other bits. And Aidan's Magic Corner, I interview people like Jonas Brothers and Emily Blunt and Colin Farrell and stuff like that.
I remember that. That must have been super awesome, right? That
also,
must have been amazing.
I was really kind of, so after doing the first 2, I was really kind of then like getting like bit like, oh my god, there's so many celebrities in one day. I was getting a bit panicky. I was like, oh my god, but everyone is super nice.
Man, did you find it difficult interviewing those celebrities, or was that okay?
Oh, they were all so good. Colin Farrell, I mean, I loved every one of them, but Colin Farrell was my favorite. He was the best. He came on like we knew each other for 20 years. He was so nice. He's like, oh, Aidan, what's up, my Irish boy, and stuff like that. So nice.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Wow. So what made you want to do Britain's Got Talent then, Aidan? Because here's the thing. You did Ireland's Got Talent. Everybody knew who you were. Then off the back of that, you did Little Big Shots, smashed it. Then you went on Ellen like 3 times, smashed it. Then you had your own interview show on Ellen, and you're just like interviewing some of the biggest names in the world. You're like a household name. What made you then decide to go on Britain's Got Talent? Because a lot of people already knew who you were at that point.
Yeah, I hadn't been on stage for a while, and I quite liked the talent shows because I wanted to meet Simon Cowell and David Williams and Alicia and Amanda and all of them. And I really enjoyed Ireland's Got Talent, and I wanted, because I only got to the semi-finals, so I wanted to kind of do more of that. And I thought Britain's Got Talent would be a good place to do it, because I remember actually when I was doing Little Big Shots, America's Got Talent got in touch and they wanted to fly me out literally the next day. Obviously I couldn't because we were doing Little Big Shots. So we went with Britain's Got Talent, and that got to the final. That was brilliant. I met Jasper and Damien, and I met so many great people on the set of Britain's Got Talent. So that was a great experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, the year that you went on Britain's Got Talent, it was like the magic takeover.
Yeah, there was no magicians on it this year in the final. Mental.
I know, it was crazy. And the year you did it, there was like pretty much nothing but magic. It was,
yeah.
It was really funny. So what stood out for me on the Britain's Got Talent act was your audition was just awesome. Like from memory, you took the ring. The ring went into the box, which was a Joel Miranda trick, I believe.
Yeah.
In the box, and then from that, you then took it back, and you did Richard Sanders Interlace. I mean, that was such a strong set. Talk about like you know, going on that show and absolutely smashing it. That was incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, after a little slip up happened, so after I was kind of upset, but it looked brilliant. They cut a little bit of it out, but it was just a little thing. No one would have noticed it. It was just little thing happened, and afterwards I wasn't talking to anyone. Ant and Dec were like, "Oh, you did brilliant," and I was just like,
Oh,
I started to cry.
You did great, mate. You did absolutely amazing. And then obviously in the semi-finals, COVID hit, and you had to do the semi-finals from Ireland via Zoom. Was that difficult?
Very difficult. So I remember I had about 5 vans outside with like loads of big Wi-Fi things on the top of them, and my room, there was cameras everywhere. But it was, with all the equipment they had, it would have been better on a Zoom call. It was about a 5-second delay. So I'd be saying something, and then 5 seconds later, the judges would hear me, and then they'd say something back. And I remember at the end, Ashley said that it was a bit slow, and I was gonna tell them that there was a 5-second delay, but I thought there was no point. But then how did I get through again? I got through the public vote, I'm pretty sure. Or was it the judges? Because I didn't get in that night. I got in then like a week later. And I had no act prepared because I didn't think I was going to get through. So I had about 4 days to brainstorm an act in London. I think it was in London, waiting for the final.
Because you actually came to London for the final, didn't you?
I did. I was able to make it there for the final. So I remember, so my mom got me out of school early because I got it through, and she was like, "We need to get a flight tonight, or else like we won't be able to get through," and blah 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 blah. But we got through, so that was great.
That's amazing. And in the final, you did a variation of one of my favorite tricks, which is the sex test by Wayne Dobson, which is an incredible trick. And I remember watching you doing that and thinking, with Aidan, and I didn't know you then personally, and I was thinking, with Aidan's personality, this is the perfect trick for him. Like, this is the absolute perfect trick, because that's a trick that's very technically easy to do.
Yeah,
but you have to have a very strong presentational style to pull it off, else it comes across a bit weak, right?
Yeah, we chose that one because we were like, "Oh, it's the finals. May as well just do something funny." Because I didn't want any pressure on myself. I really just wanted to kind of enjoy the finals and just have it a fun experience, because the other ones have been really stressful. So I thought for the final, I'll just have some fun. Well, oh yeah, a load of people, they don't understand that trick. Like on the Britain's Got Talent page on TikTok, I'm always looking at the comments, and they're like, "But he got it wrong. He thought that it was fart and it was eat," and they don't understand the concept of the trick. But the majority of it do. They're like, "No, but he wrote fart and it was eat. He got it wrong. What's the trick?"
Yeah, that's the thing with when you start doing shows like this and it goes up on YouTube, there's always somebody that's got a theory as to how it's done. There's always somebody.
Oh my god, for the heats, they all thought that I had a duplicate ring. But I think her ring's about $5 grand.
Oh man. Some of the ideas they come up with in the comments are just ridiculous.
And the method is very simpler than what they're saying.
Yeah, somebody was convinced that Ryland had a twin brother in his act. So, you know, it's always the same. So on top of all of this, we've talked about all the different magic things that you're doing. You're doing an awful lot. Can we talk a little bit about your career as an actor, Aidan? Because on top of all of that, you've done some quite high profile acting gigs as well. Did that come about as a result of being a magician? And when you're doing these things, do you try to incorporate magic into what you're doing?
Yeah, so the first so I've done ads in the past and stuff, and I do like, there's a thing called Red Rock, I did an episode of that. But then when I really started like getting TV shows and I was in like the main cast, I'm pretty sure that was The Holiday. That was the first that I can think of TV show that I was actually properly in. And with that, I don't think they incorporated my magic into it, but they incorporated my personality, because I'd have a Rubik's Cube on one of the scenes and I'd be solving it. And I'd say I had a deck of cards around my bedroom in one of the scenes. But The Holiday, that was brilliant to shoot. I remember, so there was did you see The Holiday?
Yeah, I watched it with Ryland and Sarah. It's really good.
Oh, cool. Thank you. So there was the scene, obviously, at the end with the big cliff, and there was actually, like, they weren't messing around. There was a huge cliff, and I'd be tied on with just one little rope. Cool. So yeah, so I was at the edge of the rope, and there was just one rope holding me at the edge, and it was so scary. So this is the first day, and they were like, so to make sure that you're all comfortable with this, we want you all to just balance yourself at the edge. And literally, so my house, it's like, I don't know the exact height of my house, but imagine my house, but about 10 times my house, and it's a decent sized house, so it would be super high, and at the end there would just be loads of water and rocks. You couldn't even see it. It was so high, this cliff, and they'd put you on a little rope, and you'd be and then so for the scene, then when I'm like getting pushed off, so they did a foot shot, and that was okay. I was getting held, and I had a thing on me as well, but that first bit when they were just testing me, it was so scary. But then when and they had ambulances on set, that wouldn't have done anything. If you fall, the ambulances aren't gonna but this is what really scared me. So the whole scene when she's kind of like pulling me back and stuff, obviously that couldn't be done with a tight rope or whatever you call it, not a tight rope, with the rope, because they'd see it. They didn't CGI it out or anything, so we went to a different part of the cliff, still super far down, but there was imagine that's where the cliff is, and kind of up to here is where we were, and no rope. We just had to pretend. So there was, let me use this for an example. There was kind of a little drop here, so they pretended that was the edge of the cliff, when the edge of the cliff was really here. But we were still super close, with no rope on us or anything. We were still, I was getting pushed really close. They're like, go further, go further.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mad. I can't believe that. That's mental.
Yes,
wow.
That was some scary filming. Stunt man.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need a stunt double in your contract next time, Adam. Good grief. And then off the back of that, you've done a lot of other acting since then as well, haven't you? I mean, The Holiday was your first kind of big thing as the main cast, but you know, you've been involved in a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, I did something called Bad Sisters. Actually, what date is it today? It's going to be out in exactly, well, it was exactly 1 month, 2 days ago. So it's going to be like 29 days, I believe, until it comes out. It's going to be on Apple. It's an Apple original, Apple TV. And Sharon Horgan wrote it, and she stars in it. And there's some great other cast in it as well. So I think that'll be a good one. I'm excited to watch that, because I spent about nearly a year filming that.
Wow.
So, long time.
That's crazy. Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Filming that right before Blackpool, I'm pretty sure, in about February.
Wow. And then obviously, actually briefly talking about Blackpool, you got a chance to open the whole of the Blackpool convention this year, coming out with Izzy and yourself and Jasper, and opening up with that incredible trick that fooled the living hell out of me. And I still don't really fully understand how it works. That must have been a really fun moment, right? I mean, the world's largest magic convention, back after 2 years, the first gala show, and it gets opened up with you and Izzy and Jasper. You know,
that was there was no pressure on that for me, but I remember Izzy was like, Aidan, how are you so calm? How are you just like throwing out these funny lines when I'm here, like, I'm really panicking? So she was worrying, and I was just like, so if you could name any number for the steps I'd walk. And I remember I'm really small, I don't take big steps. And she'd be there, okay, so
that's hilarious as well, because Izzy obviously has a lot of experience doing magic, hasn't she, on like big stages, BGT and champions and so on and so forth. And actually, talking about that, you are, you know, every single time Blackpool comes around, there's like a group of kid magicians, really. You know, it is Izzy and you and Killian and Jasper and more recently Ryland. you guys hang around. It's so nice to see that you guys have all formed this incredible sort of friendship through magic, even though you're from different countries, and you and Tilly are from Ireland. But, it's great to see. I mean, it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, they're great friends. It's great because we have each other's phone numbers and stuff, but we don't text really unless we're actually meeting up with each other in a magic convention. That's the only time we get to see each other. But yeah, I'm excited for Blackpool next year. The session was great.
Yes, the session was fantastic. You and Ryland were causing havoc with people like Lloyd Barnes and his jeans.
That was really funny.
Do you want to tell everyone about the tomato sauce trick?
Right. I think they're going to be wondering if we don't. Yeah. So I'd go up to people and I'd be like, okay, here I have. It wasn't like the packet of ketchup you'd open like that. It was kind of like a little tube, and there would be a little lid on it. So I'd go up to. So I went up to Lloyd Barnes and I'd be like, okay, Lloyd, here I have a ketchup. I want you to name any color M&M, and he names one. And then I'm like, would you be impressed if there's one M&M in here and that's your color? Yeah, I would be. All right, great. Do you want to change? I think he ended up changing, and he was like, no way. And then I tried getting him to open up the ketchup, but I didn't know. He told me afterwards he hates ketchup. So I felt really bad.
He's not allergic to it, but it makes him physically sick.
Yeah, I felt so bad then because I was putting him under the spot and Ryan started filming it. So he didn't end up doing it.
It was Mark Lemon who was sitting next to him.
Yeah. So he ended up doing it. And he chased me around with his smelly finger with ketchup on it afterwards. But I ended up running away. So that's really funny. And then, oh my God. So then afterwards, I'm going up to Lloyd and he's going, oh, sorry, I didn't want to be bad on camera, but I really hate ketchup. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And he's telling me how much he hates ketchup. And Ryan runs over and throws the ketchup packet on him. And then a day later, Craig takes me and Ryland outside and he goes, I learned this amazing new magic trick. So he gets me to film it. And he goes, okay, here. And it was your cool coins you have. What were the coins again? They're like cool
liberties.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, you put one of them into Ryland's hand and then you're like, all right, close your eyes. And then you're like, in a moment, it's going to vanish. And I was like, no way it's going to vanish. This will be the best trick ever. And there's a glass of water. And he takes the glass of water and pours it over his head.
What I want you to do, I've got some coins here. Can you see the coins? See the coins, yeah? That's the American $50. Yeah. Right, hold out that hand. You close your hand, and you're going to close your eyes, and that coin is going to vanish. Would that be good? Seriously, this is going to be the best trick ever. Are you ready? Have you got him, Aidan? Close your eyes. Can you feel it? Yeah, can you feel it? Yeah. You've got to will it to disappear. Will it? Are you ready? Are you ready? 3. You willing it? 2, 1.
I was not expecting that.
And that's what happens when you put tomato sauce all on Lloyd Barnes' jeans.
That was brilliant.
But you know what? That's what magic's all about, isn't it? It's about having fun. That's what.
How did Lloyd react to that video?
Oh, he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I promised him. I said, Lloyd, I'm going to get Ryland back. Trust me. I don't know how, but I'm going to get him back. And we did. So thank you for your help on that one, Aidan. No. It is what magic's all about. Hanging out, having fun, enjoying yourself. It's a hobby at the end of the day, as well as, professional for some people. So how important would you say it is? You do a lot of acting and you do a lot of magic. How important is it for magicians who want to become professional magicians, or they want to become, they want to have some of the opportunities that you've had, they want to appear on TV, whatever it may be. How important do you think it is to learn about acting and learn about, you know, techniques like vocal projection and you know, being able to improv like you do and being able to just basically wing it. Do you think that's important, or do you think you can get by without that as somebody who has both?
I'd say that if you just do close up for your friends and card magic, even card magic on a stage, I think it would be good to know a few bits of improv. But I'd say if you're just doing card magic, you've nothing really to worry about. But I'd say if you're more into the mentalism, like I am, I think that involves a lot of kind of impromptu thinking and kind of, because you're making them believe that you can influence people and stuff. So I think having some acting and theatre for mentalism really helps. I think if you're doing a stage show, knowing some theatre would be helpful.
That's really good, really, really good advice. And on the subject of mentalism, you saw Luke Jamay at the session, and I remember you telling me that, yeah, he was one of your favorite lecturers, wasn't he? Other than me, of course. Yeah, we won't include me. No, Luke's absolutely amazing. His thinking is just genius. So do you prefer mentalism over magic? Because a lot of the stuff that I've seen you do on TV has been magic based. The sex test that you did in the final of BGT, that's kind of mentalism piece. Yeah. I mean, do you prefer mentalism over magic, or is it that you just love everything and you'll do whatever you think's best at the time?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of preferring mentalism at the moment because I just really enjoy that. I think personally I get better reactions when I perform mentalism, and I think it helps at my age to be able to do it as well, because that gives me kind of extra credit for knowing how to like read people and influence them and stuff like that. My aunts were over last night, and I did a really good routine on them, and they were mind blown. But yeah, really good. Do you know the trick, the invisible object?
I don't think I do. Whose is that?
I don't know, but it's basically, I won't say the method, but it's basically where there are a few different routines with it. You can basically show that nothing's in your hands, get the spectator close their hand and feel an object in it, and there's nothing in there. Or you can show your hands empty, and this is what I did last night. I said, all right, now I'm going to make you influence that there's a mouse in your shoe. So I showed my hands empty. I put nothing into the shoe, but I did put something, but they didn't see. And then they put their leg in and they feel a mouse and they're like, ah! And then I take it back out and I'm like, that was just totally like psychology. After this, I'll message you on Instagram and I'll show you how it's done, because it fooled my mum so much. It was so funny because she was like, what are you putting into the shoe? Like, I can't see. Like, what are you actually putting into the shoe? She thought I was lying. She thought that it was just psychological, and it's so good. But I did that, got great reactions.
That's what I love about magic and mentalism. You know, the reactions that you get. That's just So what would you prefer? So let me ask you a question. What do you prefer? Hypothetical situation. I'm going to put you really on the spot right now.
Brand.
You have two opportunities that come through at the same time, and you can only pick one of them. Opportunity number one, you get your own TV show, a one-off 1 hour special, Aidan McCann. You get to do a 1 hour magic show. It's going to go out on prime time all over the world. Or you get a chance to be the co-star in the next Marvel film with The Rock.
Ooh, that is good.
So you can either go for the acting thing or you can go for the magic thing, but the schedules aren't going to allow you to do both. You have to pick one. They both want you. You got to pick one of them.
Probably the magic, because that's what kind of Darren Brown sorted out with, and he is a huge. I love him so much. He's what got me into mentalism. I've watched all of his stage show, all of his Netflix specials, all of his. I've watched everything he did. Apocalypse, The Push, Miracle. I've watched everything. He's so great. He's what do you call it when he's my
hero?
Hero, that's it. He's my hero.
Inspiration, hero.
Inspiration, that's it. Inspiration. He's my inspiration for mentalism. He is great.
Oh. Yeah, he is. He's absolutely awesome. And so, what are you allowed to talk about what you're doing at the moment? Because I know that you're working.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
on a TV show. Could you talk to us what that's all about and what's going on there? Because I know you've been shooting that with a few other kids over the last couple of weeks.
So I'm filming a TV show at the moment. It's called Clean Sweep. Can't give away too much of the storyline, but I have a good storyline in the show. I'm the kid of a mom. Her name's Charlene McClenna. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. She was on Peaky Blinders. Andy Nyman might know her because he was on it as well. He might not, but she was on Peaky Blinders. And I'm really excited for this. In August, in September, I'm pretty sure. Late August, early September, I'm filming a movie with Kevin Costner.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Where's that going to be filmed? In Ireland, or are you going to the States again?
Utah.
Utah. Wow. Utah's nice.
Yeah.
That's great. And how long are you going to have to be over there for?
I think it's only a week, which is really good. And then April again, I'm going out for a week. So only 2 weeks.
Oh, that's great.
I have a good part in it as well, so perfect.
That's brilliant.
Pretty sure I'm pretty sure I play a young Kevin Costner in it.
Really?
I think so. I could be wrong on that, but oh no, I don't. My mom was telling me I don't. Okay. Someone was telling me I do. I think Laura or someone was.
I love that you've got this huge thing coming up and you're not sure what the part is, but it's just going to be epic, which is brilliant.
I did one self-tape for it. I remember because we weren't even going to do it. It was like so much lines. There were papers all over the wall with how to pronounce it, and I would just be pretending to look off in the distance while reading the line.
That's amazing. So what's next for you then, Aidan? I mean, the world's yours. You're 13 years old. Obviously, you're still... oh, you've gone. You there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, back, sorry.
That's okay. I'll take that again. Hang on. So what's next for you then, Aidan? You're 13 years old. You're still going to be at school for the next few years, but you've already built an incredible career and an incredible resume at a very young age. What's next? Are there what goals are you wanting to hit? What stuff are you wanting to do in magic and acting? I'm guessing that as soon as possible, you want this to be a full-time, thing. But I mean, are there particular goals that you want to hit in magic, things that you want to do in magic that you haven't done, things that you want to do as an actor that you haven't done yet? What's your plans moving forward?
I'd really love to do my own stage show.
Right.
Mentalism, like what Darren Brown does. I've wanted to do a stage show for a while because, like I said, I love doing stage, acting and magic. Because Ireland's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, that's great. So I thought I'd love my own show doing stage. And for acting, I can't really think of. Acting is kind of hard because it's kind of whatever I get in to do an audition for. But acting, I'd love to kind of do a Netflix show. I think that would be really cool. That's kind of my two things at the moment that I'm hoping to happen for magic and acting.
That's brilliant. That's awesome. And what advice would you, because, you are an inspiration for kids all over the world, whether you realize it or not, you are. There's a lot of people there's a lot of kids that are getting into magic because of seeing, performers like you at a young age going out and doing such a great job. So what advice would you give any kids that are watching this that are younger than you, same age as you, slightly older than you, that are wanting to really kind of do well with magic and get some of the opportunities that you've done? Is there any advice you can give them?
So, all right, I'm going to start with the younger. So if you're about 9 or 10 watching this, I know a lot of people would be telling them to read books, but I tried reading books at that age and I just couldn't process any of the information. I thought that I couldn't really understand how they were explaining the tricks in the book. So I don't think if you're 9 or 10, I think if you're into card magic, YouTube is the place to go if you're that young. There are loads of reels on YouTube for great card tricks. Then if you're kind of more 12 or 13, I think reading books. I love reading books now. I got about 8 books for my birthday and 4 at the session. I think reading books, if you're about my age, or even if you're 9 or 10, do you love reading books? I think books, once you can read books, is a great way to go. I think because you don't need any gimmicks, and if you do, you can make them at home. And I think I love reading books. So you can get so many different stuff in books, like mentalism, cards, coin. I'm into coin now because of Craig. So I think, yeah, books is great, and I think practice. Everybody says practice, but don't practice by yourself. I think if you're going to practice on your family members. I don't think practicing by yourself all day, but if practice your scripting, practice your showmanship. Don't practice a trick if you're alone. It won't help. You've got to get an actual spectator there, because they might try and mess you up. Then you'll be like, okay, now I know what to do if they try to mess me up. It's good help. Also, if you do want to practice by yourself, to go through kind of like every stage. So go through the best spectator you could have. Then go to a good spectator and pretend that they're doing the trick. Then go to a decent one. Then go to a bad spectator. And then go to a heckler who's trying to mess you up. And then if you get a spectator that's like that, you'll kind of know which way to go with your trick and how to perform it.
That's really good advice. That's really good advice. And how do you talk about dealing with spectators? How have you got any advice on dealing with spectators that can be a bit awkward? Because I've seen you do that really, really well.
Oh my God. Oh, I have such a funny story to tell you. So there's this school, I never do kid shows there, but not anymore after this. I think kid shows are just, for me personally, they're really hard to do. They're really hard to do for me. But anyway, so I did a kid show for a school, and I was at the school and I was doing this trick, and it was, so what are they called? They're the things, where if you look at them from a certain angle, you see something, and then a different angle, you see something else.
Oh yeah, like an optical illusion type thing. Yeah.
So I bring up a woman, I'm doing hypnosis. So I go, all right, I'm going to hypnotize you. Can you read that? No. And then I walk far away, and I'm like, can you read that? And I do it really subtly. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to hypnotize you. Can you read that? No, walk away. And obviously, because it's different. Now, can you read it? Yeah, you can. I hypnotize. Then she goes, but if you bring that up close again, I think it's just an optical illusion. And she says how she's a 40-year-old woman, and she's saying how a trick is done. And I was about 10 at this age. She was like, but I think if you come here, I'll be able to not read it again. I think it's that you're far away now.
God.
And then I did the trick I did on Little Big Shots. It's the one where the phone ends up in the Pringles can. And at the end of the trick, there's about 50 kids in the room. They all run up and literally grab the can and start eating it. Mental. That's why I never do them. They're so hard to do.
Yeah, it takes a certain kid shows doing magic for kids. It can be really, really difficult, because the other thing as well is kids are really honest. Like 7, 8, 9, 10.
They'll try to mess.
Yeah, they'll try and mess you up, and if they don't like some things, they don't like when they'll just walk off. You won't get that with adults, will you? They'll be polite, but with kids, they're just like, right, I'm going to go and do something else now. I don't need to watch this. It's like, right, okay, I've just lost my audience. It looks like, oh dear.
Yeah.
And any advice for anybody, not just kids, but kids or adults, anybody who wants to go on a Got Talent show? Because you've been on Britain's Got Talent. You've been on Ireland's Got Talent. Any advice on going on a Got Talent in terms, because every time you've gone on, you've done well. Most people don't even make it past the auditions. You got to the semi-finals and then the finals. So any advice on how to go and boss a Got Talent?
I'd say once you're not shockingly bad, once you think that you won't get criticized on it, you should go on it, because you have a chance of winning 250,000. So I think, and performing for the Queen. So I think that in itself is a positive. You have that chance. And once you're not bad, once you're not actually bad at it, you should still go on it, because you can get some publicity. But if you think that you're not ready or you're actually bad, I wouldn't, because the judges can really criticize if they don't think that you're very good. So once you're not shockingly bad at what you do, it's worth giving it a go.
That's great advice. If you don't suck, try it. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Exactly. And once you have foolproof tricks, or if you have outs for your tricks, that's the main kind of thing. You don't want it to mess up, and then you have no outs. You have no idea what to do next, because that can really throw people.
That's good advice as well. That's really good advice as well. And you mentioned America's Got Talent earlier on. You know, you said that you wanted to go on Britain's Got Talent because you only got to the semis. You got to the final of Britain's Got Talent, but you didn't win. Are we going to see Aidan McCann go on another Got Talent show in the future?
Maybe been leading up to it. Yeah, America's Got Talent. I tried to get on it last year, but they said that Simon still remembers me, which is fair enough because it was live with him. Well, it was shown on TV with me and him. So no doubt I'll probably be trying again this year. We're giving it a go because I love the stage. I'd love to meet. I'm a huge fan of Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Sofia Vergara is a judge on it, and she's from Modern Family. And Terry Crews is the presenter, and he's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I want to think of an act I can do with the two of them based on my two favorite TV shows.
Oh, wow. That would be very cool and very special. I love that. Amazing. Aidan, this has been a super incredible interview. Like I said, you are an absolute inspiration. You really are. And I know 100% whatever you choose to do moving forward, you're going to be a massive success at it. And if I was Darren Brown, I'd start quivering in my boots because, you know, if you say you want to have a show like his, you know that will definitely happen. So, Aidan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
How can people follow you? The best way is Instagram, right?
Instagram at Aidan the Magician. Same for Facebook. Same for Twitter, I believe.
Okay, Aidan the Magician on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. So make sure you follow Aidan. I follow you on all of them. Your Instagram stuff that you put on Instagram is great. Like some of the videos. Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, really good.
Last night with my aunts, I did the trick that you taught me in the session, the one that I was going to buy. And you lost to a I did that one on my aunts. We're going to post that one today, I think. So I'll tag you in it.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see it. Did it go well?
It went great. Oh, they were mind blown with it.
Brilliant. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. Aidan, I'm sure I'll see you again soon. If I don't see you before, I'm sure I'll see you at Blackpool. But guys, I want you to do me a favor. Leave a comment down below and let me know, let everyone, put down what you thought of Aidan. I think he's an absolute legend. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you're following on Instagram, and wherever you pop up on TV next, I'll be your biggest fan. Mate, thank you so much.
Thank you.